Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Pulse Sports Recap. This is a very special edition, but I am not alone. My name is Mark Kinyanjui, and I am joined by my co-host,
Joel Omoto.
Osuru Evans, the usual Chelsea ambassador suspect.
But today isn't about Chelsea. Today is about Benni McCARTHY, the South African legend who is linked with the HARAMBEE Stars job taking over from Engin Firat. And today we will be giving you reasons as to why this appointment or this potential appointment makes a lot of sense for HARAMBEE Stars. And of course, Joel will take us through the situation before we analyze it further. Joel?
Yeah, Benni McCARTHY obviously is an upgrade on Engin Firat. I say so because number one, he knows our African football. He speaks our language very well, African football language. He knows how we play here. He understands our leagues because he has worked here. He's played here with South Africa, Orlando Pirates. He has coached in South Africa 2 teams at great success. Cape Town City winning a cup with them. Not easy for a team as small as Cape Town City to win the MTN Cup, which is won by the likes of Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, who are the giants in that country.
I think it makes a lot of sense because, first of all, like Joel said, he already understands African football. You've taken Amazulu to that level where they got Champions League, but he had to leave Amazulu because maybe the board weren't willing to give him the resources that he needed to now start building a team that can actually sustain their place in and among the best teams in Africa, that is in the Champions League. But the only issue and negativity about it is the fact that Kenya doesn't have a good record of, with foreign coaches. I mean, if you look at the statistics, you'll find out that African coaches, Kenyan coaches, have actually tended to have a better win record than foreign coaches, because foreign coaches need time to understand the system, how Kenyan football works. And he's also managed to nurture players into actually looking better than they are. Someone like Marcus Rashford, the 30-goal season he had in the 2022-23 campaign is attributed, of course, to McCarthy as a coach. But now you understand that here you're now taking charge of a team as a whole. Will he have that kind of interpersonal relationship with his players? I think it's something we can wait and see. But lastly, before I wind up my point, I believe that Kenyan players seeing a big name like Benni McCarthy, I believe they'll want to prove a point for him, compared to having someone like maybe our other coaches who, to be fair, as much as they have a good track record, sometimes if you look at the name, you won't want to go the extra mile. But maybe having a Champions League winner in charge, you'll want to go that kind of extra mile. So I believe that is another positive that we may have. Unless there's something to add with regards to that.
I mean, his second coaching job was his best. Took Amazulu, one of the smallest teams in South Africa, to qualification, second in the league.
Yes.
Then qualify for group stage of the CAF Champions League. Even our Gor Mahia here rarely gets to the CAF Champions League group stages, and he took Amazulu there. So having been there, of course, his last job was at Premier League side Manchester United, working for 2 years, working with Cristiano in his first season as the forwards coach, helping Marcus Rashford reach 30 goals in one season, a career best for him. That experience alone, if he brings it into the dressing room, and imagine working with Olunga, having worked with Cristiano and Rashford, that is one of among the reasons why we should be excited about this potential appointment.
As the saying goes, from Manchester United to Kenya. Of course, to me, appointing Benni McCARTHY as HARAMBEE Stars coach is a blessing in this case because, one, he brings with him lots of experience. First as a player, second as an assistant too. Managers like Jose Mourinho and the likes of Erik ten Hag. You look at his track record as both a player and a coach. His CV speaks volumes of the sort of personality that he carries. For me, I think it is high time, as much as he's still a foreign coach based in Africa, it is high time we need to give the likes of McCarthy a chance to showcase what he's capable of, because we've got potential. The talent is there. It's just a matter of getting the right coach to nurture the talent and take HARAMBEE Stars to places.
For me, I think that giving McCarthy, who I understand, shares an agent with the current FKF vice president, that is McDonald Mariga himself, also another Champions League winning African with Inter Milan, even though McCarthy had won it with Porto under Jose Mourinho 6 years before in 2004, which was very historic. If you remember the circumstances under which they won it. Joel Evans?
Yeah, taking from there, I feel like he is not new. I mean, when Firat was coming, some of us were like, Indian who?
Exactly.
And we are not going to ask Benni who, because we know who Benni is. I mean, he's played for some of the best teams around the world. So he commands that respect already from the players. They would want to work with him, work for him, perhaps run for him. And he has been in these environments. He has worked with players locally and internationally. So he can marry that well with our players who are playing in local leagues and in foreign leagues, because now he understands the setup for both sides. And you mentioned about foreign coaches coming here and perhaps doing not so well, and our local coaches doing better. I kind of feel like McCarthy is one of those local coaches, if you want to put it, because we haven't had many coaches for our investors coming from other African countries. Most of them have been from Europe.
Actually, all of them have been from Europe.
And now this is an opportunity to get our own from Africa, not Kenyan, but from Africa, who perhaps understand the setting, understands our problems, because some of those European coaches who have come here are surprised by some of the problems we encounter in Africa. And Firat kept reminding us every other time our problems. And I feel like McCarthy will not come here to tell us our problems, but rather try to give us solutions for some of those problems.
Exactly.
So that is in itself an exciting potential appointment for Harambee Stars, and it can boost the confidence of the players, because if the coach keeps telling me every day, like Firat was bringing us charts every day, Mala is not good because he can't finish this chance, he can't run this way, that in itself brings self-doubt in the players.
Exactly.
And we want a coach who gives confidence to the players when he builds some of their weaknesses, makes them into their strengths. Heading into, I feel like Chan past postponement is a blessing, this guys, for Kenya. It's an opportunity for him, if he is the one who could get this job, to look at the players, understand them, understand our league, and now start building from there, heading to AFCON 2027, which we are going to post. And we don't want to get embarrassed at home.
Evans?
I believe as much as all pointers indicate that Ben McCarthy is on his way to Kenya, there is one thing that needs to be understood, that any other coach or any other footballer, somebody who's got experience working with footballers, understand. Every person needs a conducive working environment to thrive in. The coach knows what is good and what is bad for him. He needs not to be dictated upon. He needs to make decisions based on what he sees, what he feels, and what he himself knows that it is right for the development of the local talent that are currently mushrooming. So it's all about wait and see whether he's going to get that opportunity. And if at all he gets the opportunity, he needs to be given that a clear vision and strategy on how he needs to embrace and carry his work as usual, not with the interference that we've previously had. Some cases that have previously been reported that some of the foreign coaches were being given instructions on who to field in. I believe McCarthy should not be the person to be given such instructions.
But at the same time, as we wind up, personally, if you ask me about that situation regarding Chan, I believe that as much as McCarthy is going to come in and have his input, I believe that will be a good situation to let whoever started the project in terms of, remember this team the local players had flown out to Mapinduzi to prepare for the tournament, which was initially supposed to take place in February before it was postponed to August. I believe it only makes sense letting these local coaches maintain charge of the team, because at the end of the day, Chan is about local players, so why can't it be about local coaches like Coast Mule was saying the other day? As much as McCarthy should come in and have his input, I believe the likes of Kimanzi should be allowed to really prove their mettle with this team. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's exciting times ahead for Kenya, given that it's the first time we'll be hosting a major international tournament, basically since the All Africa Games in 1987, where Kenya actually reached the semi-finals of that tournament, having edged out the likes of Egypt and Cameroon, who are known to be big nations and big teams in African football. So if you look at the pros and the cons, I believe McCarthy is actually a good appointment. And let us hope and see, maybe it could boost him, because at the end of the day, international football, regardless of whether you're managing a team as big as France or a country as small as San Marino, who are the lowest ranked team according to FIFA, it's still international football, and it has a big impact. And Kenya actually has untapped potential that can be unlocked, maybe perhaps by this coach who... so we can only wait and see. But guys, what do you think about that situation? Do you think Benni McCarthy is the right manager for Harambee Stars? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, I've been your host, Mark Nyajui Kinyawai.
And this is Joel Amoto.
Ozuru Evans, the only one ambassador.
Until next time, guys, adios.
Bye-bye.